was going to say something that's been great about Shanghai is that we haven't experienced a lot of people hocking the mucus and spitting it all over the ground. And literally right as I started to record, somebody did exactly just that next to me.
超大国と呼ばれる国の栄光の裏側で C 国における外国人の実際の生活はどれほど過酷なものなのでしょうか。もし10億人規模のメガシティでの生活が華やかな夢だと思っているのなら、文化的な悪夢に直面する心の準備をしてください。執拗でまとわりつくような視線、至る所で耳をピク、つんざくような爪を吐く音、そして完全にコントロールを失った公共空間における極度の息苦しさ。現在同国で生活し、働いている外国人たちの視点を通した C 国での生活に関する最もリアルで悪辣なレンズへようこそ。
10 things that I hate about living in China. Now, I know that hate is really a strong word, so I'm going to start from mild annoyances, things that bother me, to my most hated things.
現在中国で生活し働いているある外国人女性にとって、地元住民から頻繁にじろじろと見つめられ、盗撮され、さらには指を刺されるといったことは、日常茶飯事として彼女の身に起きています。たとえそれが好奇心から来るものであったとしても、絶えず注目の敵になり続けることは、彼女に多大な精神的プレッシャーを感じさせています。
So as a foreigner here, people are going to stare at you, photograph you, even laugh at you and point at you, which can be quite confronting. And when we first arrived a year ago, I have to say that it was quite difficult to get used to it. We would often find people sneakily trying to take a photo of the kids without asking for permission. And it is quite shocking to us because, you know, where we come from, this is not something that you do. It's a big no-no, but here it is really culturally different. It's not a big deal to take a photo of children out on the street. And particularly with us, we all look so different to everybody else, especially when we are together as a family. I sometimes feel like a bit of a walking circus. So we do attract a lot of attention. Now, this is not to say that it's going to happen everywhere that you go. If, for example, you go to a bigger city where you find more foreigners, people are just used to it, so it's not a big deal. But where we live, we do attract a lot of attention. And at the beginning, it used to really upset me, particularly when we went out as a family. Let's say we had some times when we went out for a picnic or just to play sports at a park, and we would literally gather a crowd around us and they would try and film us as a family, you know, trying to just have a nice time. But now, a year on, it doesn't affect me as much. I would say that I've gotten used to just being able to go out and not paying attention to what other people are doing. But then you also have to consider that you are going to have good days and you are going to have bad days. So if I'm having a good day, you know, I won't pay it any attention. I might simply, you know, just say buhao, you know, not to take a photo of us without asking for permission. But if you're having a bad day, it could really get to you. And we do find that there are times when we go out and it does get to us. But the main thing from this to take away from this is that it really just comes from a place of curiosity, just people being curious about us, not because they're trying to be mean to us or, you know, give us negative attention. So that's the main takeaway, that it comes from a place of curiosity, not of hatred.
第2に電動自転車が平然と歩道に乗り上げ、クラクションを鳴らして歩行者を追い払うという境界線への尊重を欠いた統治の公共空間に対しても彼女は威張りを感じていると語りました。これはまさにプライバシーとパーソナルスペースに対する驚くべき侵害です。
E-bikes. They're such an amazing invention, particularly because they're really good for the environment. However, they're one of my main pet peeves when it comes to walking around in the streets in China. And not because, you know, they're affordable and quiet, but mainly because of how people use them here. So pedestrians don't have the right of way when you're walking on the sidewalk. So you're going to have e-bikes that come onto the sidewalk and toot at you for you to move out of the way. And honestly, I find it really frustrating. At the beginning, you know, we were getting used to the streets and we would just kind of, you know, be like, oh, okay, let's look everywhere. And if you see it coming, you move out of the way. But now I've kind of taken the approach that the older people in our streets take. And it's basically that I just ignore them. So you might bash me for this, but honestly, if I'm on the sidewalk and you have a perfectly good path that you can ride, use it. Don't come on the footpath or through the park and beep at me.
さらに、一部の住民の公共の場における生活習慣も、彼女にとって大きな心理的障壁となっています。割り込みや押し合いは、駅や店舗から列に並ぶことなくと入れの個室に直行することに至るまで、至る所で発生しています。
Some people here have a really hard time waiting for the turn and waiting in line, and I'm really not sure why, because the country is so well organized and set out. However, we have experienced this in many places. So, for example, on the train, I'm not just referring to your local line, I'm referring to the long distance train where you actually get assigned a ticket. I don't know why it happens, but basically as you're queuing up to get on the train, people are just rushing in and trying to get in right before you, and it makes it really stressful. So I'm not sure why they're doing it, because the seats are actually assigned and we're all going to the same place. And I also experience these at the shops. So for example, if I go to buy something and I just wait and line up, that is definitely the wrong thing to do, because literally people will just walk right in front of me. And this has happened everywhere, all the places that we travel through China so far, so it's not just in my city, so just know to expect that. It's a bit of a frustrating process because people are getting in front of us. The other thing that I've noticed is that the busier a place gets, the worse it seems to get as well. And again, you just notice that people just have this thing that they have to get in no matter what. So I can't explain it. Maybe you can explain it in the comment section below. And I lastly wanted to mention the toilets. So this is something that I saw for the very first time about 10 years ago when I traveled to Thailand. I was in a Thai airport in Phuket, I believe. And a group of Chinese tourists had arrived, and basically I just went to the bathroom, and usually at least in Australia or even in Argentina, when you go to the toilet you walk in and you line up, and when a cubicle opens you go next. However, in this particular instance, this group arrived, I was waiting for my turn, and they literally just walked straight onto the bathrooms. And basically what I've learned is that if you just queue, you're not going to get to have your turn, you just have to go for it. And in the bathrooms at least, it's better if you just walk straight to the door and you wait for the cubicle to open up for you. So, there you have it.
それだけでなく、スマートフォンのスピーカーからの騒音がいつでもどこでも鳴り響き、中には公園にスピーカーを持ち込んでカラオケを歌ったり、騒音郊外になり得るほどの大音量で音楽を聴いたりする人もいるため、彼女は政治機でさえも贅沢なものであることに気づきました。
This is really quite common here. However, even though it happens in other places, it can become quite a problem because here the population is so condensed. In Australia, you might have a suburb with a few hundred people. Here, you have that in a very small area. So if you have people outdoors with their speakers blasting out, honestly, it's just noisy, and I think it's just the way that it is here. I've experienced these in restaurants, on the train, both long distance and short distance. And some people will say that this is just the older generation that does it. However, I would definitely disagree because I've seen lots of different kinds of people do it. And the one place where it can get quite frustrating is, for example, if you're going to a public park or somewhere in nature to enjoy yourself. And again, you're going to find people with the speakers blasting out some karaoke or just listening to music in general.
最も恐ろしいのは無秩序な喫煙状況です。周囲の人々を気にかけることなく、空港、鉄道の駅、レストラン、その他多くの公共の場で中国の人々が堂々とタバコを吸っているのを見て、彼女はショックを受けました。彼らは子供たちの目の前でさえ喫煙し、その後ガラや吸い終わったタバコを床に投げ捨てるのです。
This one has really surprised me here in China. I always perceived China as being I guess conscientious on healthy food, healthy habits, moving about, and I've actually been taken aback to see the amount of smoking that goes on here. And it's fine, you can smoke, do whatever you want, but I guess the thing that I hate about it is that many times it will happen in public places where people are doing it, for example, on train stations, on the platform, smoking right next to people. The worst part is, as you can see, these gentlemen, they smoke and they drop the butts on the floor, And they smoke right next to people. So if you're standing there with children, I've seen it in restaurants as well, which is really quite inconvenient. It actually happened at a place that we stayed in Disneyland recently. There was a person smoking inside the restaurant where we went to have breakfast, so that really shocked me. And the one that really confuses me is, why are people smoking in bathrooms? So when we first moved to China, we stayed in the EFC area, which is like a brand new area for the Alibaba company. And when you go into the malls, all the bathrooms reek of cigarette smoke. So I'm hoping that one of you can explain to me below why this is. Is this because people can't take breaks to go smoking? Or are they not allowed to smoke just outside the building? I'm really curious, but yeah, it's just a really disgusting habit that you can do whenever you like. Just don't do it next to me.
システム面での不便さも彼女の息苦しさとプレッシャーをさらに増幅させています。ほとんどのレストランに英語のメニューがないため、彼女のような外国人は巨大な言語の壁に直面しなければなりません。
So one thing that I really hate about living in China is that I don't actually know the language. Yes, it is very difficult to learn, and I am trying. However, I do think that it's going to take me a while to have that level of Mandarin where I can actually communicate with people effectively. And it can actually affect you in multiple ways. So for example, just walking around the streets, not being able to understand the signs. Or for example, most recently I went into a shop to set up a SIM card for my son, and I did not understand what was happening. We were just, communicating via translator. And I've been in situations where, for example, people will be sitting in front of me and they'll start laughing at me, and that can really make you quite uncomfortable. Now, I don't necessarily think that they're saying something about me. I mean, they might, but just being in that situation where you just have to compose yourself and think, it's okay, there's nothing I can do about this, let's just move on. It's something that you have to be here to experience it. And for example, everything that you do here happens online. We do have translation apps that you can use. However, the number of steps that it takes to get there, so for example, what for a local might be a couple of, scan, read, do, for us it's about 10 steps because we have to screenshot and translate everything. Now, the good news is that many apps now do have translation options inside, or you can also download certain apps that give you an English version, so that is really awesome. But it still doesn't stop me from feeling that sometimes I'm missing out on certain aspects of the culture because I just can't understand what's going on around me. Some of the other situations are when you go into a restaurant and they don't have an English menu. I have to say that unless I go into a Western style restaurant, the chances that the menu is going to be in English are next to zero. Now, if you are in a small town, that's definitely guaranteed. However, say if you go to a bigger city in a touristy area, then there's a possibility that there might be a translated menu. There's many situations where the phone rings and I simply just cannot answer it. I can pick it up and say, I'm sorry, I don't speak Chinese, can you message me instead? But that's as far as it gets. So yes, there are many situations where I'm uncomfortable.
それだけでなく、国際的なインターネットにアクセスするために、高額で速度の遅い VPN ソフトウェアに常に依存しなければならないパトワしさも、彼女を不快にさせ、疲弊させる要因の一つとなっています。
VPNs is something that you simply just can't live without when you're a foreigner in China. You definitely need this to be able to connect with family back home. All the apps that we know of, you basically just can't access them in China. So from Facebook to WhatsApp to YouTube, or even just your regular browser, you're gonna need a VPN to do all those things. Whilst this is something that you can easily quite remedy by downloading a VPN, you do obviously have to find one that works reliably, and here they're not reliable at all. I do have at least 2 different VPNs downloaded onto my mobile phone. I have a free one and a paid one. So obviously on top of that you have the cost of a VPN, but the most frustrating thing is that sometimes they just stop working and you need to change a server, and you might think, okay, this is a very small problem. It really is, but it does wear you out. And when we do travel outside of China and we no longer rely on a VPN, I have to tell you, I really do enjoy that. And on the other side, whilst using a VPN, it also takes up time because you have to find a server that works, you have to be able to connect to it, and also it can slow things down. So this is one of our kids' complaints. Usually when they play certain games on their iPads, they find that their connection is quite slow because it's going through a VPN.
何よりも、彼女が最も不快で険悪感を抱くのは、中国人の束を履く習慣です。 屋内であろうと屋外であろうとどこにいても人々が唾を吐く音が聞こえてきます。それは小さな都市だけでなく上海のような大都市に行った際にも起きており、あのノールに焼き付くような唾を吐く音は依然として至る所に存在し、あの剣枠を回す粘液が道路のあちこちに散乱しているのです。彼女のような外国人にとって忍耐力と衛生基準に対する極限の試練と言えるでしょう。
This one I do actually genuinely hate, so that's why it's last. And it's the one thing that I wish that people just wouldn't do here because I find it extremely disgusting. And that would be spitting. And I'm not just referring just to spitting, but the hawking noise that comes before the spitting actually takes place. I'm not entirely sure if this is common all throughout China.
You know, I was going to say something that's been great about Shanghai is that we haven't experienced a lot of people hawking the mucus and spitting it all over the ground. And literally right as I started to record, somebody did exactly just that next to me.
I do see it quite a lot in my neighborhood, and to be frank, honestly, I'll be walking through my neighborhood oftentimes just thinking like, don't look down, because I'm so afraid of seeing what's on the floor. And even sometimes in my apartment, when it's a nice day like today, I'll open the windows just to let some fresh air in. And unfortunately, sometimes I'll have to close it because all I can hear from downstairs are the people just walking through the complex and that horrible hawking sound and then the spitting that takes place right afterwards. Sometimes I even see people just blowing their nose like this, and honestly, please stop.
中国での体験とは完全に対照的に、日本に住む、あるいは旅行する外国人たちは、絶対的な尊重と平穏な雰囲気を享受しています。ある有色人種の女性旅行者たちは、日本人が常に行儀作法を保ち、見知らぬ人をじろじろ見たり詮索したりしないことに、この上ない安堵感を覚えたと語っています。日本の通りは常に清潔で整頓された状態にあります。列車は常に時間通りに運行され、そのサービス品質は素晴らしいの一言につきます。警察官が理由もなく、市民をさずなわせることは決してなく、難民申請者でさえ銀行口座を開設できるような環境が整えられています。まさに完璧なまでに文明的で、人権を尊重する社会と言えるでしょう。
5 reasons why I love Japan so much. Number 1, police cannot harass you anyhow or stop you on the road anyhow without committing an offense. Number 2, Japan road is very clean, very neat. It's always neat and clean. Number 3, Japan train always arrive sometimes 1 minute before the arrival time. They are always on time. Wow. Number 4, you can have an account even as an asylum seeker. You can have a bank account even as an asylum seeker. Number 5, you don't have to tear your passport when going to seek for an asylum.
So I've been in Japan for about 72 hours now, and here are my first impressions of Japan. So Japan, well, Tokyo reminds me of New York, just that Tokyo is a little bit more orderly, it's cleaner, and they seem to be moving to a more intentional rhythm than New York. Another thing that I noticed is that they really mind their business. When I was in Tokyo, they weren't really looking at me when I was on the train or staring. They just mind their business. Even when I was taking photos, it's almost like you're not there, which for me as a black woman gives me so much peace. Japan is also very safe. It's one of the safest places for women. I didn't feel scared or threatened in any way at any point in time. It's just really safe here. I don't know. So yeah, it's really safe. It's clean. It's quite fantastic. It's like one of those places that you have to be here to really feel it. And if you like New York, I think you really enjoy Japan. Those are my first impressions. I'm really excited to be here. I can't wait to explore more.
別の旅行者も日本での旅行に関する動画を投稿しましたが、わずか3時間足らずで彼女は非常に驚き、感銘を受けていました。なぜなら日本の通りは清潔であるだけでなく、自転車を厳重に試乗する必要がなく、子供たちが一人で自由に自転車に乗れるほど安全だったからです。
I've been in Japan for less than 3 hours, and so far these are my first impressions. Time of this video is 6 p.m. It's getting dark, and by no means do I feel unsafe or anything of that nature. To an extent where I've already seen young kids ride bikes alone, and people don't even lock up their bikes. I live in a gated community apartment in LA, and then I also have a fence around my deck, and somebody broke into the gated community, broke down my fence to steal my bike. I should clarify that I'm in Tokyo, but it's like if New York and Singapore had a baby. It's like the hustle and bustle of New York, but the cleanliness and safety of Singapore. I was watching a few videos before I came, and people said that the public transportation was confusing, and although I did take the wrong one right off the bat out of the airport, I actually think the way that it's marked is really easy to follow. A pro tip is that you can add your Metro card in your Apple Wallet before you even leave, and so that you don't have to stand in a long line to get on the Metro to get a little tip. Japan Customs allows you to fill out the paperwork for the airport online before you land, and I would highly suggest doing it because the lines were non-existent, but the lines that you had to fill out the paper one were crazy. There are in fact vending machines everywhere. And I'm about to try a $1 sign ramen shop, so come along and see if it's actually good.
地元住民のおもてなしの心と優しさもまばゆいばかりのハイライトです。日本の高齢者は非常に親切です。彼らは自発的に野良猫に餌を与えたり、公共施設を無償で修理したり、さらには何も見返りを求めることなく、旅行者を神社の美しい穴場スポットへ案内する熱心なガイドに喜んでなってくれます。
Japanese elderly people are some of the kindest people on the planet. In Japan, you can often see seniors feeding stray cats or repairing public things for free. Benches, fences on playgrounds. They are also very friendly. If you come up to them and start a conversation, they will treat you like a close friend.
最近、日本の人々の弊害入れた親切心の章、東京のボランティアたちは、道に迷った観光客を手助けするためだけに、よく混雑した場所に立っています。彼らの寛大さと忍耐強さは、街を移動する観光客にとって、非常に大きな違いをもたらしています。というタイトルのある動画が、道に迷った観光客を手助けする際の日本人ボランティアの熱心な親切心によって、海外で有名になりました。この献身的な精神と無我、無欲の温かさは、まさに遠方からのすべての旅人の心を溶かしました。
Excuse me, guys. I think it's really amazing what you guys are doing. Can I make a picture with you guys? Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, please.
日本人との体験はいつまでも私の心に響き続けるでしょう。なぜ日本人はこれほどまでに親切なのでしょうかというタイトルの別の動画は、日本人の熱意と温かさによって、観光客たちの心をまるで満たされるかのようにさせました。
When an old man in Japan suddenly adopts you and your friend and gives you a free temple tour. I was just heading with my friend to a temple in Miyajima when this Oji-san came and started talking to us. And suddenly we explored every corner of this beautiful temple together. He explained things to us, took a lot of pictures, and even showed us secret areas of the temple, like a free tour guide. Actually, he wanted to go for a hike and then just joined us. Why are Japanese people so kind?
コメント欄では他の観光客たちも彼らが日本を旅行した際の同様の体験を次のように共有しています。私にも同じことが起きました。慣れていなかったので最初は少し気まずかったですが、適応してからはその日一日は本当に素晴らしいものになりました。そして私たちも箱モで親切なおじいさんに助けてもらいました。彼は本当に素晴らしかったです。日本の親切心が世界中で認められているのを目にするのは本当に素晴らしいことです。それだけでなく、日本の繊細さは手軽でありながら非常に高品質な食文化を通じても完全な形で体現されています。旅行者は明確な英語メニューがある自動券売機を通じて簡単に料理を注文でき、わずか2分で2ポンド未満という価格で栄養満点の伝統的な朝食を受け取ることができるのです。
I'm in Japan for the first time, and we're going to go and have a traditional Japanese breakfast. They do breakfast very differently to how I'm used to, so let's go find out what it is. It seems that most Japanese people cook their breakfast at home, so if you're out and about or in a rush going to work, you'll probably catch a bunch of locals eating at chains like this called Matsuya. It's a beef bowl place, and it's always welcoming foreigners, so they have an English menu. And honestly, this is such a lifesaver when you're trying to choose things and you just don't know what they are. You can pay with this.
2 tickets will be issued.
And oh my god, do they work fast. This came in literally 2 minutes. You sit right outside the kitchen, so they just hand it over to you. I got the beef bowl, which comes with rice and miso soup, which is delicious. And then I got this soft boiled egg, and oh my fucking god, look at the state of this egg. You also get unlimited refills of green tea. I was blown away by how delicious this breakfast was. And it's so healthy, just beef, egg and rice. That breakfast was insane. It cost me £2 whole. £2.
スタッフからの温かい歓迎や滑らかな豆腐、 あるいは焼肉といった絶品料理を提供する伝統的なロハト焼き店での夕食の体験は、極上の満足感をもたらしてくれました。このような最高峰の食の体験とサービスは、他のいかなる場所でも間違いなく見つけることはできないでしょう。
This was hands down the coolest restaurant we've been to in Japan. It was our first time seeing rabatayaki cooked on the traditional Japanese hearth, and we were mesmerized by the chef's unique salting techniques. We enjoyed many rabata grilled yakitori, as well as some really delicious izakaya-style dishes like this salmon belly and roe, and this absolutely stunning mochi-like tofu dish. And we just loved how lively and engaging the staff were. It was such a warm and inviting atmosphere, and we left feeling so satisfied and happy.
We're in Nago, Okinawa. Come and get dinner with us. This one looks cool. Should we try here? Oh my god, you get your own booth. Hey, you have to take off your shoes.
You know it's traditional when there's no English menu.
But they have got pictures. What? The ramen's £2.50? Go for it.
I don't know.
Ding! Okay, I actually love scallops. It comes in its own ice bowl. Oh, that's nice. It smells like a vegetable. Weird. The tofu was so soft. You're not impressed by that? What is that? They look like little Rice Krispies. I've got no spoon for my soup, so...
Is it nice?
It's really good.
Yeah?
It's literally frozen. Oh, that looks nice. That's lovely, that. I've had this before and it's really, really good.
Black sesame ice cream. You're gonna drop that.
Not if I eat it fast.
You're gonna get brain freeze then.
Oh yeah. It'll be worth it.
I told you so.
2つの国、2つの完全な対極、中国における喧騒と公共の場での習慣が多くの外国人を疲弊させているとすれば、日本は絶対的な優しさと規律による癒しの薬のような存在です。あらゆる視点は個人的なものではありますが、生活環境が私たちの行動心理や意識に非常に大きな影響を与えていることは明らかです。皆さんはこの痛烈なまでの格差についてどう思われますか？ぜひ下のコメント欄に皆さんのご意見をお寄せください。次回の動画を見逃さないよう、高評価とチャンネル登録を忘れずにお願いします。それでは、また次回の動画でお会いしましょう。